Hi everyone, my name's Rich, my pronouns are he, him, and welcome to Just Ask, the programme where we meet real people so that you can stop guessing, stop making stuff up about them, and simply ask them how life is. And today we're joined by the wonderful Ben, and I'll allow you to introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I am Ben, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm quite boring really, just a nice thing to be able to talk about for once.
Yes, we're going to do a 10-minute short stint of information for you, and it's going to be super dull, and I think that's really important for us to get across, because we see so much stuff out there in the media, on films, sensationalising people, and actually everyone's pretty normal and pretty dull, and we've had a really good conversation prior to this about how dull you really are.
Yeah, but I will say as well, it's going to be very interesting. Don't switch off, do stay tuned.
Exactly. Today's question on Just Ask is, why don't trans people buy dog food?
What a question.
What a question. Maybe not a question we've heard people ask the trans community before.
No, it's one of those weird things that I think we are, and we talk about this a lot, when we talk about trans issues, trans people, ourselves, the community, it's always the worst of moments, the hardest moments of our lives. And it erases what is 95% of our existence, doing the boring stuff, like buying dog food. And we're queer, so of course we've got dogs, right? And so we're all out there buying dog food, but have you ever seen a trans person buying dog food?
No. And I bet everyone's watching this thinking, have I seen a trans person buying dog food? And you probably haven't. I mean, this is where the question came from.
Yeah.
We've seen people talk about transitioning, putting on makeup, all these things that I think people go to association with the community, but not the boring stuff. So, how often do you go to Pets at Home? Is it good? Do you look at the rabbits and the guinea pigs?
I mean, if you go to Pets at Home and if you don't look at the live animals, that's a red flag for me, I think. It has to be the first stop. It's like staring at the pick and mix in the supermarket. You're not going to buy it, but you can take stock, so it's good for you.
As in take stock, just one or two.
Don't do crime, kids. But no, it is one of those normal things, and I think, especially, I think what's interesting is when we talk about animals, we just become people. You lose your intersections because we love our animals. So going into something like Pets at Home is a lovely experience because you're there for the love of an animal. You're there for something beyond yourself. And when you're trans, you're quite often reminded of your problems, of the boundaries to your life. But when you're shopping for pet food, none of that exists.
Yeah.
It's not like it's been erased, but it's there's just time where we get to live. Yeah. And I think that's a really nice part of that conversation that is not even happening.
Yeah, and I think everybody's downtime is very different, but when we're queer or when we're a part of a lot of other communities, we speak about ourselves quite a lot. We have to push ourselves forward, or we'll talk about it, what's it like to be a gay guy in the office?
Yeah.
What's it like to be a gay guy doing this? And I think it's the downtime of doing those everyday things that normalise us and that people don't really think about. And I think let's all start thinking about the dull stuff. So I want to ask, what other boring stuff do you do then?
Oh, the problem is, and I was talking to you about this, I'm not that interesting. I am really quite boring. I don't have a huge social life. I'm not really, I think people expect me to turn up and be the life and soul of the party because of the way I've dressed, the way they probably see me talk about my work, but I'm just quite sedate and quiet. I don't even watch new shows on Netflix. I'm too anxious about it.
You don't watch new shows?
No, what I tend to do is I'll rewatch a show, then I'll watch a new show, then I'll rewatch something again for comfort levels. That's how dull we're talking. I take an hour-long bath. I have no internet but Netflix, and that's all I'm doing. And that's me switched off from the world. And I think it's that moment where I'm not having to talk about me. I'm not having to think, which is really nice because you're right. Every time. And it was so refreshing at the top of this video not to rattle off my identity, what I do, my experience. It was so nice to just I'm me and it be nothing else. Yeah. It's that pause, that reflection, which is nice. And I think it humanises us, which in actual fact would probably make our jobs a lot easier if everyone was a bit more humanised.
Yeah, I think part of the reason for this show is to make sure that when people walk into a room or walk into Pets at Home, and this isn't sponsored by them, but if you could, that'd be great. Because people are still shocked or don't know how to talk to people or don't do those things, and I think it's, talking about what dog food you're going to get is actually a really great introduction to a conversation to somebody rather than, do you know what I mean? So
it's just you can absolutely have a normal conversation with anyone, but I think we've got to this point where we have an awareness of difference of intersection, and now people are so scared of tripping up, you're treated very othered, it's quite isolating, where in actual fact, you could probably just have a conversation like what you watched on TV last night, or like if you've been watching the the latest series on Amazon, or if you just like kept up on the TikTok sound. I'm sure everyone's enjoying the groaning spagliata with Prosecco, but I haven't seen the show, right? But we can have a normal conversation about it, but if you're going to tiptoe around us, it makes it harder for everyone involved. And I think it's so difficult trying to get people to treat you nicely, but also treat you normally. I know it's a big ask, actually. How do we do that? I don't know how we do that. But I guess that's what this is.
Yeah, and I think the next poignant question is, tell me about your pets and their names.
Oh God, why can I never remember where I got on the spot? I have such a horrible memory. So my parents have 2 spaniels, that's Archie and Star, and then my sister, who I am an auntie to, she has 2 cockapoos, Norman and Teddy. I love old man names for dogs.
Norman's a great name.
Norman, that was my choice. I didn't choose Teddy, that's a bit too cute for me. But yeah, Norman. I met a dog the other day called Stanley. I think it's a great name. I want your dog to have an old man name. And I really enjoy spending time with them because you don't have to think about yourself. You don't have to, and that's the nice thing about it. If everyone was a bit more like a dog, because they love you implicitly. And I think that's a nice sort of trust level in that you will do the best for them, that you can't always rely on people.
Be more dog.
Be more dog.
That can be the point of this whole
absolutely be more dog.
10 minutes is be more dog to everyone. Like if everyone was like a dog in an office or in the street, we'd all be actually great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you go up to a dog really easily, like you sort of ask, can I stroke them, can I talk to them? And then you just have that moment with a dog that we could have with other people if we were just able to treat them with a bit more like, you're a normal person, I'm a normal person, let's interact and then let's go on with our days, right?
Yeah. And if we don't like people, can we pee on them?
I mean, absolutely. Well, that's probably another show.
Yeah, that's probably another show. That's the late night version of this.
Incredible.
No, but I mean, I think we've gone through the answer to that question, which is trans people obviously do buy dog food.
Yeah.
Anyone looking at this would have been like, well, of course everyone buys dog food. But I think it's just, if anyone can leave this video with a point, is everybody does everything, yet you're not seeing them do it in public spaces, in TV and films and adverts and all these things. So let's just normalise people and not sensationalise them, essentially.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important thing. We were talking earlier, like, what films have you seen that have just, included trans people just doing normal things? And I haven't seen anything. And I think, if you're watching this at home and thinking, actually, I have seen something, that would be a great place to pop that in the comments and sort of build this resource of trans people being in something because of who they are.
Who knows? But essentially, everybody buys dog food. So very glad that you all know that now. Thank you, Ben, for joining us today. Thank you to anyone watching who's got dogs or cats.
If you are a dog, do say hi, drop a 4 in the comment.
And join us again next time. We'll be talking to somebody else about something as random and just asking them a very normal and boring question about life. All right, thank you very much.